Boot to the Thargoid head in Elite Dangerous Odyssey. As the Thargoid war progresses in Elite Dangerous Odyssey, when do you think we will get to do some actual on-foot ground combat with Thargoids? Do you think we need to trigger it through in-game discoveries, or do you think it's just going to eventually happen when Fdev decides it's time through future updates? In a way, I really do hope that it's based off of in-game progress as humanity tries to resist the Thargoid onslaught through combat, rescue, trade, or some mysterious discovery we have yet to make. Maybe it's just me, but I feel that the on-foot combat side has been ready for a while. Maybe Fdev couldn't start to plan to have it in the game until after Elite Dangerous Odyssey Update 14 was released. I truly hope that we as commanders need to find out how to have the very first on-foot experience with Thargoids. It would honestly be so much more fulfilling and rewarding if it was done like this and not just rolled out in some future update. Imagine you heard from your brother's cousin's uncle's former roommate that if you take a sample of this plant from some moon out in the dark to Vista Genomics, it will unlock a part of the secret. Then your ex-girlfriend's best friend said that if you take that sample to Set Engineer, they could help you craft a module that helps with the secret if you only could find the last part needed, which happens to be in a permit lock system that you now have access to. Seeing something like this would be super cool and give you as a commander a sense of gratification for completing the puzzle that unlocks the ability to fight Thargoids on foot. Like, I would literally go out of my way to complete a puzzle like this that unlocks the ability to break my boot off in a Thargoid ass. You have no idea. If it's just rolled out, I mean, I'll definitely go out there and do my part for humanity with all my grade 5 equipment that's been, sitting around just waiting. However, I really hope deep down in my bitty little space heart that it's some kind of quest mechanic to unlock. Hell, maybe we could even stumble across Raxla in the process. Here's the thing though, a quest-style release would mean we as a community would need to discover the secret that unlocks on-foot combat with Thargoids in Elite Dangerous Odyssey. So if we are procrastinating commanders don't go out there and discover the secret, then it will always remain a secret, meaning it'll never happen, and that would totally suck. This ultimately makes me believe that for the most part it's just going to be rolled out in some update after we get stomped down for a bit in Update 14. Or perhaps just maybe it's a combination of both. We as commanders need to discover X, Y, and Z before Fdev will roll out on-foot combat with Thargoids. Then it just kind of happens for everyone, once those glorious bastards make the discoveries for the community. However it happens, Commander, are you excited for the chance to experience on-foot combat with Thargoids? I mean, on a scale of 1 to 10, how excited and ready are you at this point? Realistically, how do you think the aspect will change how you view the game? Will the galaxy feel a little more real, or would you rather Fdev had focused on water worlds and the ability to land and explore those instead? First off, let me say, as excited as I am for on-foot combat with Thargoids, I think I would be happier if Fdev focused more on discovery in a space simulator. Not so much first-person pew-pew. I would rather the first-person pew-pew be a secondary thought, really. I would be so much more into discovery on water worlds rich in life, being that commander to make the very first time discovery with the possibility that I might have to fight to survive. Now, to me, that would be glorious gameplay. I kind of feel that on-foot combat will in a way be forced upon us. I mean, in Elite Dangerous, you can do whatever you want whenever you want to do it, but if it's the only new content, then well, Commander, you're probably going to do it. Am I wrong? As far as on-foot combat with Thargoids, how do you think something like that would be like? Would grade 5 be too powerful, or do you think you need to be grade 5 to even stand a chance? Do you think it will be challenging enough to require multiple people to complete missions against Thargoid ground forces? Let me know down in the comments. I really hope if they're going to have on-foot combat with Thargoids, it will at the very least be challenging. Not something that can be easily cheesed, and at the core it gives us a reason to do it. So far the only reason to upgrade on-foot suits and weapons is simply for the sake of doing it. That's the loop really, just something else to engineer that ultimately doesn't help your ship's gameplay at all. So I hope there is a bigger picture to doing it, because really. Personally, I would have really liked it if my main reason to upgrade all my suits and weapons was from a pure survivability standpoint when visiting strange new worlds. Not because it makes Robin Hooding and ganking NPCs at settlements easier, or fighting in BGS ground conflicts against mostly NPCs. It would be so much more fulfilling to need that gear in a not so empty universe, a universe filled with life on the right planets or moons. Not just a universe filled with weird looking plants, no animal life at all, the remnants of some long extinct civilization, and the one life form we haven't seen face to face yet, the Thargoids themselves. It just seems odd to me that humanity, the Thargoids, and a bunch of weird looking plants is all that is in the Milky Way. This is why I feel fleshing out the universe would be more important than a forced war. I'm sure when it happens, we'll all be freaking out and excited to see it for ourselves. This just, that all revolves around you being into doing pew-pew. And if you're not, then I guess you get to go discover a whole bunch of weird looking plants, because that's about it. That's all that's out there in the Milky Way. Well, until the Thargoids completely take everything over, then what? Does Fdev just put out a "thanks for playing Elite Dangerous, it's been fun" statement because you, the community, didn't save the Milky Way from the Thargoid threat, when all you really wanted to do was look at the beautiful space scenery and catalog plants? Realistically, I'm sure there will be some quote-unquote news from the sponsored YouTubers leading up to its release. Sadly, you won't hear it from me first, because, I don't know how to make Elite Dangerous content, I suppose, anymore, so I wasn't invited this time. But hey, I'm sure when it's about to happen, we will get notice from them as the information trickles out before the big day. Serious question for those who maybe don't play Elite Dangerous yet, but are thinking of playing. Like, if Thargoid alien combat is done well, would you consider buying the game? Would that be enough for you to take the leap and give the game a try, or are you not all that interested in FPS in a universe simulator? As someone who has never played Elite Dangerous in your life, would you be more interested in the game if the worlds were more fleshed out with life on them but also dangerous? Would that be more important to you than, say, FPS being the primary thing to do on foot? Like, would you buy the game if exploring the Milky Way meant you might not make it back if you didn't have good enough gear? Gear that can easily be farmed for in the game's current state by doing an activity known as Robin Hooding. Like, is the Thargoid war in a basically empty galaxy actually good enough for you to want to buy Elite Dangerous? Or perhaps you want more before taking the leap? Something more than a game which is focused on war being the primary reason to currently play Elite Dangerous Odyssey. I mean, would you rather the galaxy be dangerous but not so focused on war and extinction? Because really, right now we have enough of that in our actual world. Now, I don't mind defending myself from violent aliens if I'm attacked in space or on a strange new world. I just personally feel that things can be dangerous without the stigma of war hanging over the entire galaxy. Anyways, I would love to hear what you think about the upcoming Thargoid on-foot combat, as well as any comments on Elite Dangerous Odyssey itself. Do you even care about the thought of on-foot combat? Would Elite Dangerous be a much better game with fleshed out worlds where the real danger comes from trying to discover, instead of being centered around war and possible extinction? Let me know down in the comments below, Commanders. Peace. I guarantee if you found this video helpful, you're gonna love this next one.